I guess, set the meta, but you know what? Sometimes simplicity has the highest ceiling, and we started to see that towards the end of the group for Eternal Fire. I'm excited to see how they get on against Job Life.
Just setting this one up as a bit of a stylistic clash, maybe, of those 9 losses from the Job Life organization against Turkish teams. 4 of them with Unfake at the helm. I've been pretty convinced with his calling so far, decisive, and as the mid-round starts to open up, you can see Job Life thinking about this B main progression. Eternal Fire on the attack side, now starting to move that spike towards the A site.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm entirely convinced just yet, because the attack side, Colin, Breeze excluded, was not the best, but we can come back to that. That's a conversation for later. Echo, at the same time, gets the information. It's now well under fire. Viper wall to protect him. Actually doesn't get scanned, does at the last minute, and that's an entry for Job Life.
Yeah, and Eternal Fire trying to set up in this post plant. You can see they're very aggressive towards CT, looking to engage on that fight, but Job Life have moved through stairs, so no duels.
Not at all, and Eternal Fire backfilling the space that Job Life have just vacated. So it's a topsy-turvy one, but one that Eternal Fire do not want to give away control of Spike, and Pays once again looking to pay out and some damage, and well, it goes down to a 1-on-3. Neki with just 27 points of health and having to fire away 3 targets. He will not succeed. Job Life, they only won 1 of 5 pistols last time, Hazza, but this time they'll make no mistakes about it.
It's a perfect start for Job Life here on the defender side of Lotus, of course. Matt Pick coming in and with a very convincing record from their time in Challengers 3. Just a single loss coming right at the back end against Reborn, another one of those Turkish rosters. And with that in mind, I think there's got to be some confidence behind them, putting away that series against Na'Vi as well.
Hello! Sit down!
To re-raise the Unfake conversation quickly, the composure and calmness that he showed after what was probably one of the worst whiffs we've seen in recent history says a lot about this team.
I don't even know if you can count it as a whiff because he just didn't shoot.
Scroll wheel, mate. Yeah. Scroll wheel in pro play, more common than you'd think, apparently.
Yeah, but I want to continue this conversation with Unfake, because Eternal Fire do have some force behind this in Favian's Outlaw. Let's just keep an eye on this for a moment.
Yeah.
But Unfake, I mean, attack side Colin, it just hasn't been up to scratch for me. Not got a positive record. And this is the only map that he actually does. 60% out of the 6 times that he's played it in Challengers.
And so I think that's something that we can just shelve and come back to in the second half. But in my eyes, what this matchup will end up being is how much experience have Eternal Fire managed to accrue in their time in Tier 1, as they are an Ascension roster after all at their core. In terms of the eco, well, the Outlaw has already been dealt with here in Tree, so shouldn't be too much left behind things. Ordaz has managed to pick it back up and deals the 140 blow, but no kill in the end.
Yeah, a couple players low there, but it's the only 2-shot weapon that will fall there. Eternal Fire hoping that they could have done some damage with pistols, not the case.
And to sort of wrap up the point that I was making there too, this Job Life team has more Tier 1 experience than any other of the Challengers rosters that we've seen come up. Even, you know, the example of Enterprise, I think you have global experience there, but Doma's played more LAN games at Masters and Champs than he has here on a domestic stage. So we're seeing how that translates as we head into the bonus for the Defenders side.
The online era of Valorant, quite a different time.
I have the spike.
LAN coming back.
Yeah, well, the LAN experience was at a premium. Next year won't be, with the International League still staying in position. And it looks as if Eternal Fire with their full buy are ready to execute on B. Good information in terms of the utility. Spear has really made that one work. Job Life, an advantage into post.
Yeah, but it's a question of what they can do with this. As Eternal Fire looking to fight into Waterfall, Doma's got to be on high alert, and he deals great damage on the fadeaway back to C.
Yeah, everybody peppered up on the Eternal Fire side. The Spectre, even at range, could really cost players their life, and Job Life now starting to get into main as well.
It's the weak players in Waterfall.
Yeah, and they're just going to completely fall to Doma. 3 rounds in a row, it looks like, for Job Life so far. Neki, unless he has something special for us, and he can't get started. Brilliant start for Job Life. And Hazza, I'm left wondering, Eternal Fire are just not showing up so far.
Yeah, looking like a bit of a disconnect for a team which built their success, at least initially this year, off of having airtight micro.
Yeah.
You saw the desk talking about it as well. This new partnership that's having to be created. Fabian finding himself paired up with a third different duelist now in his last year and a half of competing.
You are so slow.
And I completely agree with Unfake. Spear the furthest player forward and no tradability there.
I mean, that's the one thing about the Whaley, it can be quite disconnected. It was like when we saw Neon for the first time, a lot of Challengers teams felt that disconnect.
And again, as competent as Fabian is as a flex player, you want to see them really start to shape things up nice and quickly, because you don't get too many lives in this play-in stage. From the upper bracket, if you even make playoffs, straight down into the lowers on seeding. And so with the Sheriffs at the hip here of Eternal Fire, they've made plenty of noise on C. The lurk smoke is up, but Echo is yet to cross.
And I think Fabian's a big component of this Eternal Fire roster. I think a discussion we were having in Stage 1 was about his ability, right? And the fact that he might be the best or the best flex player. Echo, at the same time, his luck might be activated. He's seen that players are leaving C.
Hasn't seen Pays.
And this could be the issue. Finally does, and this is going to be an easy kill. That got a little bit messy, but still gets the upgrade, and now the rest of Eternal Fire being brought back.
Yeah, I mean, Kamek may be in a position to interrupt this, but the spike is going to get past no problem. And so Eternal Fire do have a free C site, but the flank is swiftly approaching, and it's Neki watching over this one.
It's big 1 versus 1. He will win up, but doesn't consider the second. So it's an easy trade in the end, but still an advantage to the Turkish side.
And look at this post plant now. They've completely changed it up, looking to fight Sand together.
Oh, and Unfake given a chance to get brawly with it. I mean, in deep into the corner is Echo, and he's the one with the Bulldog. A 2 versus 4, which I don't think Eternal Fire would have ever dreamed of this position, but have certainly been given it and have to try and deliver. Doma missing out. These Sheriffs of Eternal Fire really starting to hit now, and I think this round might just be over. Time getting away from Runner, and Eternal Fire straight back in with a Moda Thrifty.
Yeah, those pistols packing a serious punch as a slight gap is exploited to the full. Eternal Fire getting in behind through Echo. Let's kind of snatch at this one a little bit. I was wondering if he wanted to play the discipline, maybe buy a little bit more time for the rotation, but nice call made off of his insert. And I love the quick reactions as well to set up this post plant towards the flank, get the numbers in play. And so straight into the next one. It's a full purchase for both, and Runner's brought the op out. He's nowhere near this first duel.
Eternal Fire certainly are, and I mean, with bodies put out, Job Life, trade even, and I think, honestly,
favors Eternal Fire here.
Yeah, exactly. Only issue is there's no smokes, so Unfake within that corner can have a real opportunity to upset. An idea about this one, but Eternal Fire haven't checked. Spear somehow winning that duel.
Yeah, plenty of damage there, unloaded by Unfake, but no kill, and Doma's the only one in a position to interrupt this. Long rotate for Runner. Maybe if Doma finds a kill, then you're interested, but he's quickly cut out of play. And it looks like Eternal Fire are going to bring this one within just a round. Much quicker approach and different look from them here.
I like that, the acceleration, but what I don't like is Job Life's taking duels on their own. Doma, for instance, in that 2v3, tries to get something back, but...
Yeah, I think it's sort of like the sword that you live and die by there, though. Runner's always going to want to save this operator, especially when you look at the money. If Doma finds one, maybe he gets interested.
Yeah, but you've got a showstopper to come back in on. There's tradability there. A 2 versus 3 isn't out the realms of possibility.
You really want to gamble that 2v3?
I mean, sometimes you've got to give it a
maybe,
go.
maybe. I think it's a discussion best left, because right now, Eternal Fire have started to turn up the heat a little bit, and Job Life showing signs of buckling under that pressure, perhaps.
Yeah, that's 100% right. Job Life need to be careful because, as you said, this is a VCT team, not just an Ascension roster. And Eternal Fire were prospects for London back, if people remember.
4th place, just one away. Oh my god. Ooh. Look at the trim.
Yeah, using the headset as a hairband. Multiple uses, these headsets.
Yep, I relate. But here comes the A brawl yet again as the barrier goes up. Hayes trying to get in there, and once again he falls to that left-hand side of rubble. Runner ignites, and with the showstopper, nothing found. 5 versus 4, but still JobLife trying to bolster their positioning here, fortify some space in the A courtyard. Neki trading back, and Spear just playing around the edge as Eternal Fire finally envelop JobLife. Runner scorched and sent packing from this duel.
Feels like Eternal Fire have remembered who they are. The individuals playing off of one another, looking like a pack once again.
Runner has found a unique angle here. He can stop that spike from crossing towards the site, but with a lack of information mid-round, he's not fully certain on this one right now. Doma, of course, on the other side of the breakable door in Blue Room, just waiting to see if there's a pivot, but so much patience shown on the Eternal Fire side right now.
Runner maybe think.
Yeah, it's their own attack-sided smoke, which they put up here, and yeah, Runner's looking for that timing, but in the end, Eternal Fire make the most of it. Doma gets his 2, but 2 more required.
I think JobLife are now starting to just be a bit too cheeky, and Eternal Fire aware of it. I mean, you've got to think this roster has played in the likes of the Turkish League and had to run the gauntlet to get up there. And I think that's exactly why we're going to see a JobLife timeout and start to speak about how things are going wrong. Because as we're seeing, this A fight just not going as well as they would hope.
Definitely what will be addressed in this upcoming timeout, as you say. That is the cost that they've had to pay. They were running double smokes with Viper every single time in those 6 previous appearances on this map, of which they won 5 that I mentioned at the start. And so to accommodate Pays in the lineup, that is the price they've had to pay. And heading into the gun round now, you can see Echo attack-sided op. Slow start for Eternal Fire, but still, scaling through B main with some intent, setting up both duelists here for a fight.
They'll be well aware that there's a trap to be sprung somewhere. And that's why there's a little bit of trepidation about how they walk. No A-brawl, that's where the Vise is.
You can see Unfake just faking the steps up towards Plat there as well, suggesting a rotation. As you say, the C's nade was ready to go, but now it's the Prowler that he pulls out and gets ready to take this duel as Pays connects through the smoke. Spear down, and the spike's starting to head towards C.
Fabian unfortunately caught out as well, and this should be an easy notifier as to what's happening. A nice stun though to stop any B main aggression.
With that utility invested, it's a much harder site to scale towards now on C. Omen ult used to the other extremity. Ordaz under the tree in A. There is Vice util here to slow this down to snail's pace. You've got a wall and thorns between the spike, which is slowly arriving. For as much space as Ordaz takes, it's the fight which he needs to win. The Doma down with Vice gone. That's all the utility missing.
Unfake so low as well as they come back in. Information about where players are playing from. And it seems like it's going to be the Rays to get caught out here by Echo, and now the numbers get dinner.
Yeah, Ordaz still playing up close from Plat, but no trade, no follow-up. Neki sat down in pit, and for that reason, JobLife not anticipating this one at all. The trade eventually comes through, down to a 2-on-2, and Fabian still playing around front site with the support of Echo's op, now through tree. A 2-pronged approach, which Kamek walks straight into, and Eternal Fire, for the first time in this game, take the lead for themselves.
Yeah, after 7 rounds played, they'll finally get it in their favour. And JobLife just not able to find an answer to Eternal Fire. So far, I mean, Eternal Fire are playing a very good game so far in terms of how they're controlling the map, in terms of how well aware they are.
Yeah. Just speaking of awareness there as well, I was kind of surprised that Doma just immediately went straight back into the site, knowing that the Omen ult had been popped. Threat of a player even being in pit, that was the common one to take, but pushed down now to upgraded pistols, a Marshall in the hands of Pays. JobLife have to make sure this one doesn't quickly get out of hand. Echo not given enough space to make the op work for a second time, so that's a big pickup by Runner.
Yeah.
Plenty of open air out on A right now.
I think this looks to be the B exec wall there, but I don't think it will create much issues, to be honest. And even going to get a Nightfall out of this. This is a decent big win from Job Life, to be honest. And it does stall out the spike a little bit.
It blocked the dash as well, so only a couple players in. Ordaz having to burn through one of those TPs, and a big 1v1 on the flank here.
Yeah, but you don't down Neki, let's be honest. Rifle in hand and doesn't miss a beat. So Doma now with the information of Neki's position, should expect this. That's unbelievable. Individuals showing up from Eternal Fire that they maybe haven't in weeks previous. And I think it's because the comfortability that we're seeing of these players on roles that we normally associate with them. Last two, happy to take a back seat and wait for that spike to go.
For sure. This has to be a confidence builder. The play-in stage, Eternal Fire finishing 4th in their group, of course, as they did 4th in the previous stage. It's all about trying to break the mold and bridge that gap between being a team which sits in the midfield, looking towards next year as well, of course, and one which can go to international events, as we thought that they have the quality to do so, especially heading into the last stage. It was a 6-map loss streak before the Fnatic win, so they ended things on a high for sure, but got to see if that can continue now, of course, with Fnatic's own results in mind.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think the big thing with that Fnatic result for Eternal Fire was the fact that we started to see those role changes. We started to see a much more, how to put it, familiar Eternal Fire and how they were playing. But let's see exactly how Eternal Fire are getting on in this round as they play for a B exec.
Yakın adam. 2 OB, 2 diyor, swingliyorsun. Hadi.
Dim.
İki beyler, 2.
Geri çekil geri. Kaç geri koş. Kır onu, geri koş.
Tamam, çok iyi. Bir upper çıktı. Fade B side.
Al süper ya. Ben de vuracağım bir tanesini.
Ne onu rotate attı beyler. Fade Hobbit'ten kol atıyor sana Ömür.
Ne infomuz var yok.
Vice Channing dedi. Ulti bastı buradan.
B boş. Anıl.
Bomboş Anıl.
Anıl B'ye girdi.
Anıl C'de kal. C'ye bir şeyler yapsana.
Şeyim yok.
Sakat yakını istiyorsan.
10 saniye pull reveal var. Giden açtı abi.
Bekliyorum seni.
Ömür Water'da oynamayı seviyordu Baris. Yanlış hatırlamıyorsun.
Flash açtı. Sayıları bir açacağım.
Ha, Pillar da flash, adam CT. Tamam, ultimiz var bu arada. Yaparım.
Shift giriyorum.
Anıl yok gibi ya.
Kapalı kuracağım.
30 seconds left.
Evet sol.
Ultim var.
Alsana size switch atak oturun.
Last player standing.
I'm holding left. Nice. A lot better. Take operator.
No. You wanna play?
Job Life managing to come back into this, and that's a big result within one round, and especially with how Eternal Fire's momentum was.
Yeah, it's Echo that finds the opening for Eternal Fire in that round, through B and onto the C site, but Job Life aware of the gaps and very quickly mid-rounding themselves into a position to retake. Sounded very chaotic for my limited Turkish understanding there in terms of the fights out on site. And yeah, not a full commitment to that B push either.
There.
Yeah, but at the same time,
There.
you get the win, you get the punish, and there's operators on either side, and not quite out the woods yet in terms of economy for either side.
Set utility from Job Life to try and take that rubble space at least initially, and hoping to maybe guide Eternal Fire into their Vice setup. The issue being, it's only Doma here, and while he has the op, that's just inviting Spear to get up in his face. Shorty to bolster this smoke. So you can see Job Life retaking mainly through Waterfall, but Pays is a long way away.
Still taking its time to come through. Doma punishes any more aggression, and there's even a Nightfall to confirm that there's a body in towards CT. Thinking it's backside, but it's not. Doma versus Fabian's going to be a big jewel deciding this post plan as Joblife get working on elsewhere. Only one player remaining. It is Neki, the captain, and he's doing well so far, but cannot connect anymore. We're all even.
Yeah, it's a great round from Doma, just playing to contain there, stopping Eternal Fire from taking any more CT space than would be damaging to the brunt of that retake coming in from Waterfall. Someone who's always been so good with the comms, and I think that's why he looks so good on this anchor role, especially now, stepping back into this one.
And I think we had big conversations about his role as well, not just speaking about Eternal Fire and how things have been going on that side, but I think with him playing, what was it, 4 different categories of agent. And I think it was something like 60 days. I think you really start to worry about what his impact was, and now that he's finding consistency on these more, not yesterday, the other day, got 18 and 9 and first kills to first deaths.
That's a 2 first kill, first death ratio if maths isn't your strong suit, and that actually puts him as the best of the duelists from the opening round of play-ins, so absolutely important there.
Did you see who was top?
What do you mean?
Of the first kills to never mind,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Hayes is definitely going to get a first death here, and Runner Willie gets one, does get his life stolen away from him. Unfake, unperturbed, still wanting to play within this smoke, and Eternal Fire think better of it.
Just slowing it all the way down. Shift walking back out of audible range, as you can see. Joblife have full extremity control, and with Doma's wall on B, they're ready to play back into that site if they are forced to.
Oh.
It is going to be him again, though, the Vice on this C site to do it all.
I mean, he's got his plane in front of his setup, and this is just an easy kill. I understand that you want to try and play for something, but in a 3 versus 4, surely you play for the numbers.
I mean, it's bold to take the off angle in that situation, but there's a world where if Eternal Fire are lazy on that clear, he gets his 2, and that's, you know, Joblife still with a chance in this round. Go big or go home, that's the mantra, and with it here now, a 2 versus 4. Joblife will have money in the next round, they can give this a go. Neki 1 away from a Nightfall though, and Spear a couple off his own. Don't really want to give too much away here.
Paranoia once again just stops in a smoke on top of it. Audaz done so well here. And Kamek already starting to, I thought for a minute, back away. Not the case. And it's Eternal Fire to get the lead back.
And it's Spear finding that final kill too. So now Eternal Fire are 1 ult point away from 2 very impactful pieces heading into what will be the final round of the half. And a chance for them to cement this advantage. Joblife changing up how they want to approach the A-Duel with some real player presence, and fortunately enough, it does just fall apart. So looking at it now, final opportunity for both teams here. And as you can see, it looks like Doma's going to be the one getting exposed here again.
Yeah, a shot away, hoping to bait out some utility. I guess, I mean, it was always going to be a clear with the Haunt. And you're even going to get a Spear ultimate online for this round.
The Vice setup does match up quite nicely into Fabian on this Neon. It's Spear again that you've got to be worried about just bypassing some of that early utility, and looks like the B pivot here from Eternal Fire, but a pack of Joblife players ready to interrupt this.
This is going to be a massive ultimate, but Joblife just for a moment stepped in front. You're going to get the Whaley ultimate, but it's a trade even. Spear even going back, and still delay coming through from Joblife, managing to keep their players alive, but still ready for a duel. And it's a pause. I thought it was a pause. It's not. Echo just takes the peak. Oh, and it's a good spam from Runner. Fabian is well taken.
A 3 versus 2 situation. Joblife given numbers and time on their side. Slowly starting to run out here as they've not beaten that first line of defense. The Vice wall is still active, so even a smoke to just fake any kind of pressure won't do all too much.
30 seconds left.
Ooh.
And Audaz now left segregated as the spike is yet to be planted. Spear and only his 20 HP.
Standing.
And 20 seconds to play with as well. and unfortunately caught out. We will be all even heading into the next half, and it's Runner again being a highlight in this round.
JobLife should be super happy with how they've managed to turn things around here. After a positive start and a bonus conversion, a Thrifty threw some trepidation into the situation, but ultimately able to make good of it. So at the half, we're going to have a listen in on a player feature which we held with Doma and Unfake.
My name is Doma. I'm from Croatia. I'm 23 years old.
I'm very happy with the team chemistry of this JobLife team, the way that they've approached this play-ins bracket. It's one match at a time, and with a win against a VCT team under their belt already, they're looking to beat the next best thing. This ascended Eternal Fire team pegged back 6 rounds, even at the half, but now their chance to attack.
The rifle rounds majority, though, going Eternal Fire's favour, and that's the one thing to note. Pistol rounds not really been in JobLife's favour, but they've improved at least for the start of this series.
Yeah, they picked up 1, so double pistol would be huge though, and I think, yeah, building that momentum off the back of a potential bonus, as we did see in the previous, all positives to be thinking about. But as of right now, it's some early sand control. A, yet to be explored, precious map material currently under the watchful gaze of Eternal Fire. They've got a Viper wall through the middle of the map as well, so plenty of support there.
Just quickening that pace up towards C to pull bodies across, and Runner just steps a bit too far. Echo, the one to punish it. Oh, I mean, overwhelming in towards Waterfall, and Fabian will stop it. Spike now in his favour, and he's going to get a third. A player who kind of went missing towards the start of groups. And Unfake, who may go missing here as Echo tries to capitalise, and well, advantage Eternal Fire once again.
Yeah, you could see the idea from JobLife, trying to create some pressure on the C site, lower the toxins of Echo so that B would be an easier approach. They get in and just line up for Fabian, the one-man blockade, chaining 2 players together with 1 bullet here, nicely done. And as you say, as long as he's performing alongside Spear, Eternal Fire should be winning more rounds than they lose.
Yeah, Fabian, I think, is the real star quality about this roster. And I think, I mean, having him play like a Vito and stuff like that rather than Duelist, you're going to see a lot better returns. JobLife are just going for a straight-up execute. They're not caring here, and this should be a shooting gallery for the Eternal Fire players, but it ends up going JobLife's favour. Neki here with his Spectre. It should be easy enough to spray things down. And finally, it looks to be. That's something JobLife were really good at the other day, was making punishment on eco rounds.
Yeah, I mean, look, that was a full save from them coming in, 5 classics, and Neki does incredibly well to get them back on side Eternal Fire. A situation there where he was soon to be overwhelmed, but makes good of the situation, and they come into the bonus healthy enough. There were still 3 players left standing, so not too many costly repurchases here. Now just starting to see what JobLife want to do with their attack side. You were very critical of it in the first half, and now we get an opportunity to see it play out from behind the curtain. Listening into the comms here as Eternal Fire are already laying on that pressure.
Wait, Max.
Me in here as well. I'm holding his ping, holding ping.
I'm not holding A anymore.
I'll take A.
Nice. Okay, push.
Guys, holding B.
I'm holding A.
I'll go for info and C. Like that.
Push them.
Nice. Scream like that. No.
I wanna.
It's a very well-received round on the JobLife side. Passive start, invited the pressure, and the reaction quick as you like.
Yeah, it's the next round that we're going to be seeing the real test as we get the full buy of Eternal Fire once again. Fabian being that opper, as it used to be Izzy. Obviously, switched out for Spear.
I think the big takeaway here for me on the JobLife side is that they were prepared for what was getting thrown at them. Something that Unfake was talking about was the fact that, you know, this is a team that can't be anti-stratted. We feel like a brand new roster. So just interpreting that one correctly, and back to another C execution. Looking pretty direct here, first couple rounds.
Oh, Pace has just walked straight into the trap of Eternal Fire.
Down, C.
Simple mistakes like that you'll get punished for at the highest level. Still, Joblife need to be careful. That's a good kill from Doma. Bringing things back on side. Echo still looking to dance with this one around the pillar. And the operator of Favian still here with support of Spear.
Yeah, 2-on-2. Joblife looking to peek. How Favian catches Kamek as he looks to make an escape. Oh, runner spotted. Deals one headshot. Beats the second. Gets it. And we're all even again. It's a Red Bull clutch from Runner. Standout performance in the first series. Back here in the second.
I mean, since he's come back to VCT, he's impressed me so much. And, I mean, it was his KO that was the most impressive, but we can get to that in a minute. A Red Bull clutch. This becomes a deathmatch server very quickly with the bodies that are actually towards this side of the map. Runner just managing to work this one perfectly.
Get down, guys! They are sitting, yeah? But
I don't know what it is, man. All the players in VCT just love to tell people to sit down. And not seen much standing so far today.
They're just making sure that they don't get, you know, keep hydrated.
Invigilating.
Yeah. Oh, unfortunately, Pace is outlaw, not finding the value that we would expect of him. And yeah, I think he's been massive for Joblife in the addition, creating that new system around him, introducing him to the team. They've had plenty of time, I say plenty of time, a decent amount of time since Chiwa's absence.
Yeah. And look, this is not something that Scars and Larson not going to be used to, right? That was the Ascension run last year. They had a completely new roster there, almost. Just the leadership structure staying in place and now working with Unfake again. You can see what it is they've worked on. Echo taken out of action early doors, and he was the main antagonist in the previous round. Getting past this Viper has been an issue for Joblife, but with some relief now offered, the B site looking open, and the spike arriving from main. 16 seconds, could get a little cagey, but Spear can't do too much here to stop it.
No, cannot.
10 seconds left.
I mean, we've seen Eternal Fire get brawly. We saw that thrifty round on the 4th. I don't think the opportunities are going to be given again to Eternal Fire as Joblife shoot up.
Too slow.
And nice shot by Spear.
Yeah, doesn't think anything more of it. Only another Sheriff dropped out here on the external part of A. Doma on the off angle, and back to shooting bodies.
Lovely.
He's loving it. Something that we saw from him the other day as well, as Ordaz is going to get one back. Create a little bit of panic here. He just about has time if he full sticks it, but looks like Doma's going to be getting into the smoke and stopping him from having any chance.
Yeah.
Eyes on the time, not enough for him there.
No, definitely not. Doma having to spend his life for it, and at least bringing things as a majority cost for Joblife. Advantage, though, in their hands, and now it's about showing us how good this attack side is actually going to be.
It looks like this could be a little bit of a swing round, as Eternal Fire have no real money left beneath them. I think Joblife should be good for the next, though, so massive opportunity, stakes are raised. Chips in the previous game, it was the impact that he was finding. And looking at it now with the ults available and the check-in with the coaches made, this is a huge round if Eternal Fire want to stay in the game.
Yeah, I think with Pace, he always puts himself before others, and that's something other duelists don't even do in VCT. Somehow Unfake is still alive, and the acceleration on towards B. Ordaz looking to respect what's being thrown forward. And Joblife know that this is a big important round, and Eternal Fire do as well, as they've killed almost all the server. Just 2 players remain as the Ultimate's committed to try and make Eternal Fire pay.
FaZe is already out on site. The only problem is it's led Kamek to his death, thinking there was a little bit of space to work with, but FaZe leaving that angle open, tries to play himself back in. Disconnect on some of the remaining players on the Eternal Fire side. The closest pair, though, are the ones watching the spike in main.
Yeah, that's the most important. They've even created a crossfire with that dash. Pays with that stun, could do a bit of damage at the same time, and manages to dice it. Thinks about the second, has heard the dash, anticipates Odaz, can't quite get the kill. Spear can. 9-9. The duelist versus duelist comparison shown on the server.
Yep, that's the head-to-head that we end up getting, and Eternal Fire back on terms here. 9-0.
Good effort, to be fair.
And I gotta say, yeah, FaZe made it look possible. If there's a chance he catches Ordaz cleanly there on his reprisal through Blue Room, maybe. But more than anything, it's Job Life bringing the tempo and Eternal Fire matching it. Feels like when we go into these firepower heavy head-on-head clashes, it's Eternal Fire winning them. A is our opener and the op is out.
He's not stopping. No punches held here as he's trying to get stalled out by Eternal Fire. Still going and finally gets the reset. Fabian going for one of his own and just can't quite, gets caught out. Advantage towards Job Life, but only for a moment. In fact, it's going to be compounded. Kamek doing well. And Spike finally tapped. Again, it's just deathmatch after deathmatch, and Echo. A little gap in which to work.
2 players watching this, even a third now with Unfake.
Yeah, making no mistakes. And that's exactly the case. A Thrifty to answer Eternal Fire's Thrifty earlier and back in the lead.
Yeah, big emote of Thrifty for Job Life to retake that lead. I said it was a swing round, right, in the previous. Didn't actually think Job Life were going to be down on their luck in terms of money, but they were. It's the overdrive of Pays that plays them in here. And just the follow-up from the rest of the pack was fantastic. Spear going a little too early for the hinder there.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to say, it feels like Job Life are still somehow playing their best Valorant when they're turning things up a notch.
When the pressure begins to turn up, they do.
It's what we saw in the previous series, and it's something that Doma spoke at length about.
Yeah.
That's what the experience counts for, those situations.
We saw it in that lower bracket run when it was do or die. Feels like that's when Job Life really start to show the qualities that we expect of them.
And now they're up against an eco, so the decision to push into the pit here against the Pistols is a risky one. Runner gets all the way through, but Spear and Echo combining, this just feels like a death sentence. Unfake sending his teammates to their own slaughter as it's a 3 versus 5, backs to the wall, B site open, but for only a moment.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a charity round just given to Eternal Fire at this moment in time. There's 2 rifles to pick up, and Eternal Fire...
Oh, no. It's right into the judge. Fabian's already up in lobby. This is the freest 2 kills you could ever expect at that kind of range. And Job Life have made an absolute mess of the round which should have sent them clear. Eternal Fire have tied it back up. It's an Emoda Thrifty of their own.
Do I have to talk about that round?
Yes.
Do we...
Cairo, you're paid to. It's your job. I'm sorry.
You don't have to do it, but yeah, I get paid.
You're on TV.
Yeah, you're on TV. I don't even know. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm just...
It's a poor call. It's a blind commitment into an ultimate.
Poor call is generous.
Okay. I think, to be fair, probably not expecting 3 players inside that one for what it's worth.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe a misread of the stack as you'd often gamble the other side of the map, but
come on,
sort of benefit of the doubt here. Job Life have still got work to do. 10-all, full buy in their hands, still masters of their own destiny as the A space has been taken. Door opened up with a Prowler sent in, so Fabian now restationed. Eternal Fire confirming suspicions. There are still players here. Kind of want to see if Spear's going to get active in the middle of the round here. You can see him out on C.
Yeah, I mean, if he starts to move into B main, there could be issues. but those issues not arising just yet. Joblife poking and prodding, seeing what responds, and they've pulled out a lot of utility from B, even the molly from the Viper. Seems like Kamek's going to try and scale towards stairs. If he moves it any further, Audaz is there to support. Fabian with a good shot and pays as well. Fabian now under pressure and can't quite get the shotted to work. Once again, Pays showing those entries, but Spike is caught in no man's land. Kamek managing to punish Echo. And Audaz still here. Joblife looking and hunting kills, but they've got to get that Spike down, and finally they will.
Yeah, no recourse for Audaz there either. He's the best player for Eternal Fire in a clutch, and Spear can't finish what was started by his teammate. Joblife back in front, but these rounds have been anything but easy to come by.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like, I don't know, man. These rounds are few and far between in terms of like the quality, real quality. Pays shows it there, sure, with his entries. Time and time again, we're seeing mistakes crop up, and both teams are punishing each other, to be fair. But there's nothing in terms of consistency.
And so if you question the round's repeatability, Joblife are going to go ahead and make another A Insurgents. Spear still sending himself forwards with the ult, and Joblife completely cleared out of this early rubble control.
Yeah, forced towards C, and that's where we're going to see that setup of Echo. The orb, still got a molly in pocket.
Won't be enough to stave off Joblife forever, but it has bought precious time for a rotation. 4 bodies dragged towards C. That's until the duelists start to cancel. Bring their sight back to B. Joblife have been working through the middle of the map in these last few rounds.
Taking the time slowly but surely. It's Echo within this corner that I really start to worry about.
Been pulled on the nade. Kamek, the spike carrier, trying to cross the gap towards the C site, and now the full execution. The finish into the site. Runner, while blinded, still finds Echo. Little bit of luck perhaps, but it's exactly what Joblife needed to get in here. Flashing down the door as Neki and Spear try and retaliate, but it's all Runner in the feed. Fabian offering some reprieve that Eternal Fire required, but it's a 3 versus 1, and the crossfire is set up. He's walking straight into trouble, and that close clear second guess can't reset, and with that, Joblife finding map point on their pick.
A massive round to win out. Finally, some rounds in a row connected at the hip. Joblife, for the most part, I've really criticised their attack, and sure there's mistakes here and there, but they've won the majority of the rounds.
And again, it comes back to what I was saying at the start. I think Unfake has been pretty incisive on these calls, and I think that's the biggest thing for a lot of teams that are working through a rebuild, whatever the case may be in play-ins. Down on their luck, that's why you're here. It's just keeping it clear, keeping it straightforward. Another slow round, just waiting to see what Eternal Fire want to do.
There's that B main push, but it's even some for some part, but same time, Joblife come out the other end. Pays, where is he going? And does identify at least Echo.
Oh, Echo's still running this one down though, Cairo, and he's dead for it. It looks like Joblife have queued up a 13th round, and the biggest thing for me is that the read is spot on again.
Yeah, it certainly is. Doma down to 3 HP, sure. There's a chance for Audaz, but it's a minute one. Guardian to play with, and needs to be accurate. Doesn't have the ability to spray. But Eternal Fire put all their hopes in the controller. Swing out, gets at least onto Doma. Kamek deep in towards backside, a hard clear, no TPs out of this. So there's a delay.
It's almost impossible to get back in, even with the paranoia.
Yeah, gonna try it, but Kamek not thought about, and Joblife will draw blood once again from a Tier 1 team. They will take an advantage in this best of 3.
And so that strong record which they had in the second tier has translated to the top flight. Lotus GX, considering how they've been performing in recent times as well. So honestly, I think Joblife should feel pretty confident that they can still get a result here, but we'll just have to see. Very impressed with Spear's first debut in VCT with the Phoenix. And starting out on the attack side, he's on the front lines of A.
Hayes has gone investigating once again, and Spear has that flash ready on contact.
Stepped.
Everybody now knowing, and Fabian will get a freebie. Spear as well, and acceleration towards the east side.
Yeah, Spear holding his nerve there for that flash as well, just waiting for the second player. Audio given away by Pays, and Unfake getting caught before he even has a chance to retake here. Already down to their final two players. Eternal Fire all over this pistol.
Yeah, there's no way that they let this one go. Neck is even there for a little bit more safety should they need it. Overall, Eternal Fire have started this at a blistering pace, and realistically just waiting for the aggression of their opponents and punishing it. Best way to start the second map after a defeat, an in-zone flawless.
Absolutely, and as much as we've been talking about how Job Life have been reconstructed as a team, I think a big talking point for Eternal Fire has to be, you know, such an experienced voice in Izzy missing. I think you could really feel that in the GX result in particular. And while, you know, we don't know too much about the inner goings-on of the team, it does feel like at times they are missing that little bit of extra composure. They are building on what I'd mentioned on Lotus, couple rounds where they're just getting fully punished, going for their standard game plan.
But like, that's the thing, you have a split where you take everyone off guard, you play as aggressive as you can, and as soon as you have a team who have had a month full of prep, of course they're going to have plans to counter your play style.
That's the other side, right? You want to build things up. You also don't want to get burnt out at the same time. So Fabian keeping Job Life honest with the Marshall here. It's just the pistols that they're up against. Kamek's classic, but only one on roll call on B right now.
Yeah, I think it's most interesting as well. Eternal Fire playing 3 different comps on this map with the chopping and changing that we saw from series to series, just struggling to make things stick and find their identity once again. Feels like with this repeat comp that we're seeing so far, Eternal Fire are starting to feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, that's the thing. As Kamek was able to stall out the push for a little bit longer with the smoke here, Eternal Fire to eventually gain access to the site and should be able to set up the plant with no problems. Feels like, in some ways, Eternal Fire have been waiting for a while to get Spear involved. A long-term goal when you consider how involved he was with their second string team still playing in challenges at the time. And yeah, this Phoenix is just a change-up in the sense that they're trying to figure out what it is that's going to work with this set of 5. And for someone who, you know, only turned 19 in March, he's another young player in a very young roster. So some soul-searching to be done, perhaps, as you can see. Job Life just playing for the spike detonation here. No orbs given away.
And that's completely fair enough, considering Spears won away from his ulti.
Yeah, had it into the bonus of the Fnatic game. Started out on the attack there and built some momentum real early. So it's going to be huge for him to get it here now.
Well, at least come away with it. Kamek not giving any more orbs away to anyone else. So, as you said, bonus round, run it back, and even a little dance from Fabian.
Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Just emoting on them, yeah, nothing wrong.
Sometimes you've got to have the good vibes, you know?
Yeah.
And only 2.
I'm wondering if he has more emotes, or if it's like Boaster with the one voice line from yesterday.
Please don't, mate. That is... I went to sleep still hearing that.
So you did know in the end?
I still don't know.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Well, we can get him to remind you, I'm sure, next time you're on.
Exactly. Well, as you said, Spear, run it back. 2 players only with 2 deaths, and we'll see exactly how Eternal Fire take this round on in the bonus.
O yürüyecek, Neon yürüyecek.
Smoke basıyor. Evet, Neon çıktı bence buraya.
Ha, rampaya
Elinde kayma tutsana, elinde kayma tut. Elinde
Gel
kayma.
gel yürü. Buraya Phoenix flash'ı atacaksınız. Rampaya reveal atacağım, sonra ultiyi bas,
Atıyorum
olayalım,
flash.
at.
Attım.
Beyler spike alın.
At.
Rampaya bakıyor.
Rampa sol.
Yakala onu, bas ultiyi, git onu vur. Git rampaya.
Rampa sağ, rampa sağ.
Pikliyor, öyle pikliyor.
Buraya gel,
Side'e gelirsiniz, side'e
Sayda
gelirsiniz.
yürü, side push. Kır, reveal'ı kır. Shot atıyorum.
Rampaya boru vereceğim son bitince.
Evan smoke bitti.
CT alabilirsiniz.
Heaven smoke bitti. Rampaya kursa Canur kapanabilirsin. Heaven
Evan
bitti ya.
canım var.
Güzel lan 80 vurdum Fivey'de. 40 astra 80 Fivey.
CT yakın.
CT'ye dog atacağım.
Wait should be low. Guys, I'm gonna slide this, okay? I have full
One second. Wait, let me stun. I'm smoking main.
1, 2.
Conceal blasting them.
I'm stunning on them, I'm going out.
Yeah. Wait, I'm watching side for you. Bathing. Side one. You want side someone. I hold elbow as well.
Walking up.
Nice.
Kurwa, jag hade någon satchels.
Maybe dome.
Very well played by Joblife to come back into that. Nice retake, Kaza, as that bonus round had some traps to try and get over.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the run it back for me, and you expected that coming into the round, and it looks like Joblife did too, because when you go back and see how this Phoenix was being played against Fnatic specifically, it was very set-piece heavy. It's like, okay, we have the ult, we're just going to instantly hit off-rip every single round. No fake pressure, no push and pull, so Joblife are very receptive to that, and they're able to get it across the line themselves. I've heard word about a listening curse, that whoever gets listened in on ends up losing the round. Do you believe in that?
No, absolutely not.
You don't believe in curses?
It's a lot of nonsense.
Doesn't give you the heebie-jeebies?
It does not give me the heebie-jeebies. You just wanted me to say that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Well, let's see if Echo has any heebie-jeebies, as he's the one holding on to A main where there is a push starting to occur for Joblife. It's that mid-control that they need to worry about, though, is there is a real skill of Eternal Fire at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know if the smoke has a gap by design or not, but you can see Eternal Fire aware of that.
Yeah.
Joblife playing from the sites themselves, though, with the exception of A main. Echo so often detached and used as an insert for a late play. Eternal Fire weighing up their options, of course. They've also got Ordaz in Garage solo. And this is where I want to see if Joblife are going to get proactive in the mid-round, because of how Eternal Fire play. They like to leave players to fend for themselves a lot of the time. Creep up towards B now. 3 players in tower already.
30 seconds
Kamek
left.
has went into Astro form at the wrong time. He's heard the rope being hit and not cleared.
No way!
Oh, Spear, that's a disaster. I mean, even the haunt, really good from Unfake. It's still, though, a 3-on-3 that they need to try and get across. Spike finally committed.
Yeah, and Echo's managed to merge from mid-control into tower now. He's the first roadblock here for Joblife to get past.
Oh, a big player to try and get through, but his shot's not hitting. Oh, finally does, but it's an even trade. And he should have got more realistically with how easy that first kill looked. Neki low himself, and Unfake is cleared in towards CT. It's just a low player now. The captain of Eternal Fire, good first shots and stunned up. Pays, making no mistakes, and it's back all even.
Pays has been a fantastic closer to some of these rounds on the Neon into retake, but the star of this one for me, Unfake, fantastic fade eye on the walk-in, buys a bit of a distraction. Blind Kamek should not have been getting anything there at all. But Eternal Fire, again, showing a bit of a disconnect in their executions. They had a bunch of options for them, complete control of the map in terms of its extremities.
Last player standing. Almost out.
Joblife leveling the score, and now with the better weapons.
I think that's defense once you start to see it get towards its strengths with the operator out.
Where are
Your chances can be few and far between, and I understand that Split has been getting better for the attack sides as people understand how to play it, but Fabian has just walked into the Vice wall, and this is easily stopped.
Yeah, I mean, Vice on Split, something that maybe we've not seen a whole load of in EMEA at times, but played by some of the top teams since it came back into the pool, of course. Thinking at the start of the year, G2 in Americas, for example. And this is an example of when it can be efficient, especially into that Neon. Eternal Fire completely shut out, and Joblife taking the lead.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we've saw the switch up from the comp that we seen played previously, now starting to play in towards the Vise, it feels like this is a composition prepared for Neon teams.
And not only that, it's Joblife just simplifying things for themselves across this map pool. Yeah, we've seen a couple deviations. I'm thinking Ascent, for example, but even that brings comfort. Eternal Fire into the gun round. They've got Fabian set up on an op here in ramp, but he glides through and takes Unfake immediately out of play. Kamek not too far behind as Ordaz catches the mid extension. And Eternal Fire with the ball in their court here. Pei's looking to rock them back, but even he can't hit the mark in this round.
It's live by the sword or die by the sword for Joblife as they try to match Eternal Fire's aggression.
3 1 versus 1s more than anything else. Eternal Fire setting up those fights specifically for this operator.
And calling Fabian for support to hit this A site in towards Stoma.
No way for him to play out here, but it's a strong off angle in front of default. Looking to try and play off of the Thorns. The flash actually blinds himself there, I think. And Neki, the one to trade it out.
Easy enough. And I think Runner's just thinking about saving up. Spear given time to get maximum orbs out of this one. And yeah, I think for Joblife, it's these rounds that allow Eternal Fire back in when you have the momentum at your back.
I think the big thing for me there is probably just that kill on Kamek in middle more than anything else. I was talking about how Eternal Fire like to set up and how they can be spread really thin on this map sometimes in a macro perspective. The way that Neki likes to call is he's consistently playing for inserts a lot of the time. Echo's a fantastic lurker, we know that. And from seeing how Joblife wanted to play their defense against Na'Vi, I'm a little bit more surprised we've not had a pack looking to, you know, take garage space in the mid round, stuff like this. When you've got a Vice set up to fall back on, sometimes you don't feel like you need to instigate, but definitely be curious to see if there is a switch up from them here in the following rounds.
I would like to see that as well, mate. I'm going to be honest. I think we're seeing that round a bit too static, and then the ones that were the moving parts and dynamic were just so unsupported.
It's just like, again, if Kamek's going to make that play, let's make it with numbers. Why not?
Yeah.
Middle of the map's been pretty precious real estate to Eternal Fire in terms of how they've been splitting through. Again, Fabian seated this time as he waves his arms in the air. 3-all, and at this point, I mean, the half is not decided, but Joblife have plenty of ults to use, and this is where we need to see results.
Doma changed back to the B site. Fabian's operator on the other side. A lot of angles to try and clear here, and he wants to do it solo, but needs to be careful. And does.
Very early use of the Thorns here as well, so some vulnerability uncovered by Eternal Fire early in the round. As always, Echo is playing out here on a limb by himself on A. But Runner checking him out of position. No scaling behind this Viper wall so long as the operator stays on the line.
Fabian. Ooh, slide gone.
Here comes the garage re-engage though. Joblife actually grouping up to take this information proactively. They see nothing. And now Runner should be on high alert for his A-hold.
This operator has not struck a kill just yet. And we're hoping that if you're a Joblife fan, Runner will do now. Full bill of utility, and well, straight off that line. As he now gets all the information, but it's good utility, and he should be dead. Still alive somehow, and finally caught out. An operator shot fired off.
Look at the rotation though. Steps being heard by Kamek. Only 25 seconds.
In position, good first kill. Needs one more. 20 seconds left and making himself an issue.
Yeah, he's just bought all of the time here. Pei's gets on site and the delay is doing everything.
Yeah, it's up to Pei's now to try and deny, and does. Spike on the floor and even a stun to help out. A TP on, and it's easy in the end. It's a disaster, and Joblife capitalise.
Some fantastic utility layered in there. The reveal from Unfake doing God's work, and Eternal Fire hesitant in their committal towards the A site. Ends up being a rotation, and with all of that control taken away, Kamek down in market because of that re-clear that we saw into garage. They can form a rolling retreat and end up winning from that position. I still had no idea how Runner hadn't died any sooner there.
Yeah.
But all left a little too late, and the kind of change up, the adaptation I was asking for, begging for from Joblife is exactly what we get.
So scared, but I mean, not scared now. Look at this. Fabian just so far ahead, and Runner's operator not finding what they need. Oh, Finfix, I mean, alive for a moment, but not much longer, as Runner once again can't find impact. And that spike will go in 2 versus 4.
Yeah, Runner's going to be reeling. He didn't commit to that fight there with the op. Now into the retake. There are tools for Joblife to try and play with. Their money is in a good position, whereas Eternal Fires isn't. So this is just about doing as much damage as you can on the way back out.
Fabian so deep, so it's 2 versus 3 on site. And after first sight, Paranoia used.
Yeah. And it's just the layers of smokes that they've got available to them here as well with this double controller. Viper Orb goes up and it just doesn't feel feasible.
Gun here.
Looking to try and recollect the operator, as it's been a key part of Eternal Fire's attack so far. And a quick pace change is what punishes Joblife.
Eternal Fire showing that they can play with a couple different styles. Steps heard of Ordaz as he's just looking to survive on the other side of this smoke. Doma's got him before the bell tolls. But we're at a scoreline of 4-4 right now, and it's still anybody's best guess where the end of this half goes. Joblife have won the majority of the rounds, but if Eternal Fire are winning it, they're winning it inside the first 30 seconds.
Yeah. And it's even insane that they actually execute into what was the Vice setup.
Issue being, the duels don't go down on site.
Yeah.
They're happening in ramp.
And that's 2 rounds where they've lost it. Ramp is basically the main issue.
I mean, Joblife haven't really wanted to fight too aggressive on most of these rounds. The timing's so important, as you can see here. Prowler detecting Spear in Garage, and a full concession of this by the defense.
Confirmation with that body in B main that this could be a B split. And that's where you're starting to see the bodies, or well, at least Kamek, start to drop back, right? He needs to be sure, and there's a fight forward in towards Spear's position. As he comes out the runner back, he's caught out. And Runner's still on site, calling for the support of Kamek. Fabian out. Does he realise? No, he doesn't. Kamek has got the value, and so is Unfake. That's just such a vehemently defended site, and in zone flawless.
Yeah, it's a commanding round from Unfake again. Really impressed with his timing in Garage there. As soon as mid starts to get taken away by Eternal Fire, understanding that they need a little bit of space to fight from, it's such an awkward timing, and you'll see it on the replay. He goes for a reveal, and actually Spear was hiding from it in the corner. It's not until the ult got popped that Unfake actually managed to find him.
What's up, guys? I'm sick of them. And I'm killing you all.
I don't think he understood what he wanted to say there.
Yeah, he really needs to work on the trash talk.
Well, he's doing the talking in the server at the moment, and it's Unfake's site that they're heading into yet again. Sees lands, but the nade not quite there for the kill. Echo found in mid though, and he's collapsed upon so quickly. This eco has very quickly been ground down.
Fabian trying to play with that shotgun. Kamek playing with a rifle.
Spike down.
And with confidence.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And that's the Guardian down on the floor. And that is a Joblife round. In zone flawless, back to back. Well played, Joblife.
They're really starting to chain these ones together now as Eternal Fire sent their marching orders yet again. Got to be looking at these last couple rounds now. The attack side keeping themselves in this game. I feel like the spacing of some of the ultimates that we've seen from them, not really deriving too much value. Still got a Viper's Pit for them to fall back on, but I'm looking at the other side. Some real big pieces available to Joblife as we check in with the coaches again.
Basically, the canary in the coal mine for the rest to react off of.
Yeah, and with Spear subdued this far, not able to get those valuable entries of which he was so integral previously. The scoreline right now feeling binding as Joblife already up to 6, and here you go, Fabian shut down on his entry to ramp. It's Pays again behind this to just backfill the main space, confirm those suspicions as the question marks are raised.
That's a nice placement of the wall. Echo's just going to walk straight in and notify the players. Runner first up.
And you were thinking maybe he was just going to drop a nade in there, but didn't have the util available to him, of course. Wins the fight outright instead, and Eternal Fire hamstrung here.
Yeah,
not a single kill in the last 3 rounds.
Yeah, but at the same time, look at Unfake, the position that he's found himself in. Big real estate, should they start to pivot elsewhere, but still trying to fight heaven.
I think the thing is, it's afforded this bigger rotation more than anything else. Still 4 bodies for Job Life towards A.
Ooh.
And now, Unfake's chance to strike. He's looking to slip between the lines, but gets spotted ahead of time, and so Eternal Fire can jump the gun and find the B site free for the taking.
Still got most of that real estate that they had previously. C's missed, and now Eternal Fire go elsewhere. Issues, perhaps, for Job Life to try and clear out.
This is a fantastic call from Neki, just identifying that rotation through mid after losing a couple players.
Oh. Those shots, though, have identified and pulled Job Life back.
And it's going to take a while here for Eternal Fire to get the plant in.
10 seconds left.
In terms of the post plant, to try and move the needle, they need some more room to try and work with. You can already see Spear's been able to pry away some main space, but the rest of Job Life collapsing through heaven. They've already taken him out of play. Doma finds his man, and Neki, the only one left behind, has a spike plant in an indefensible position. Unfake to take him out of play. And Job Life confirming that 7th round into the second half.
Yeah, I mean, nicely called round by Eternal Fire, but they just don't capitalise on that call-in, right? They're getting that advantage of Spike, give away the ruse pretty early. But one thing I have to compliment Job Life's defence of, as we've seen them grow into this half, is that when someone takes a peek, there's always a kind of second swing to trade off of that from an angle that you don't expect.
Neki, what's poppin'?
Yeah, I much prefer that one.
Yeah, Jack Harlow featuring Unfake.
Okay, very different haircut, of course.
Of course.
But Job Life, as it stands, in a prime position here to move over to their own attack side, where it looked like that was Eternal Fire's strength coming into their own map pick. You just start to wonder, where do things get better for this roster? Because from stage 1, the drop-off has been well-defined. A changing of the guard. Youngest team in the division. And looking at it now, final opportunity to make something happen. Coming up on some big ults here. Neki with the Nightfall, and you're always looking at him getting things started, and he does towards B.
Good nade placement as well, as Fabian was just ahead of the pack. Oh, the showstopper at least trades out. Same time as this backside and position that Job Life have, and still not cleared. This Astro Wall could be huge, but instead Eternal Fire rout out any resistance, and that spike can go down.
The pit here in tower as well. It should be impossible to get back through, but Paze is starting to make you believe.
He has the Midas touch. Turning this round into gold, turning kills into gold, turning kills into value, but not here, not now. It's Kamek, an age-old name that we've heard, and players still looking towards heaven. They don't know. Spear finally anticipates and gets his ace. Straight back into this one, and what a way to finish the first half.
Not the first time he finds all 5 in the VCT since making his debut only a few weeks ago, but still so much work to be done, and we need more of that from Spear in the second half if we're to believe that Eternal Fire can turn this one around. It's not just him though, it's Fabian as well in this double duelist partnership. We heard from him in an interview before the game.
Fabian.
Eternal Fire would love some champs points though, and you don't earn any in the play-ins, unfortunately. To sort of bring us back down to earth though, the chance to set up a Turkish derby looking less likely as this one goes on.
I was actually speaking to Bambino before coming in here, and he said, we don't want to play tier 2 teams because they play like they've got nothing to lose. Much more hungrier, and Eternal Fire hungry as they push down mid.
Job Life haven't been able to beat one of these teams yet, but today might just be the day. Combining in middle and compounding the pain as the pistol looks ever closer. Pressing the advantage now towards the B site, but this rotation is quick, and with that all picked up, there are numbers by back pillar.
Yeah, there are, but Kamek has at the same time walked all the way through 8 And there has been nobody to stop him, so he's calling the bodies back.
And the best thing about this, a Vice Wall to just check Ordaz out of position. So as soon as that is tripped, Joblife understand that at least one of those players is still lurking around towards B. It's time to get a move on.
Oh, Doma.
He was watching the back line, but Ordaz has taken his timing, timed his run perfectly here on the flank.
Yeah, just confirmation that no one's in sewers and no one towards heaven. There'll be steps heard about Neki. Kamek doing well there. So it's just a player on flank.
Neki, very brave, bold on his reapproach towards the A site as Unfake is going back for the orb here as well. The guy is playing mini games around the map, just making sure every last inch of ground is covered. And with Joblife putting the pistol away, they are starting off the attack with a chance to build up some momentum. They looked much the better towards the latter end of the first half, and that carries on here.
I think all Joblife are going to do on this attack is wait for the aggression of Eternal Fire. And every player playing their part.
Already learned some Spanish. Barca ready.
Right, okay, calm down. Eternal Fire, though, starting to try and play in former resistance in B main and garage, and having runners being able to punish Spear at the same time.
Yeah, Joblife got to be a little careful here.
No charges.
Heading into the eye of the storm. This is where everyone on Eternal Fire is right now. All 5 on the roll call.
Looks like an orb farm.
Yeah, and that's where you start to look. Who is it coming up on? And I don't think we're going to have any ults for the bonus here, but Unfake certainly made a high priority of his, and well, with Runner only being 3 away, it's a nice one to have.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, I think Joblife's ultimate's a little bit longer to generate, but ones that you can definitely find the value for much easier. Kamek going to catch the last, and it is going to be an in-zone flawless to finish things out. That gap moved up to 5. It's about converting the bonus and then making sure you keep that momentum on your side.
Yeah. Comfortable stuff. Round wrapped up by Joblife's most capped player at Kamek. How many appearances you reckon he's got for his 4 titles?
Ooh, I'm gonna go in the region of 75.
When I looked it up, I wasn't happy.
Oh, was it?
67.
Whoa! 6-7.
Oh, it's terrible stuff.
Gotta do it.
But we're into the next round, and again, it's back to this garage fight. Joblife on the up, and we're listening in to see what they'll do here after going 1 down to Ordaz.
Last player standing.
My bad. We should have won that, bro. We should have won.
And they've all gone down to Ordaz. He has aced them, and whether you believed in that curse or not, the listening has plagued us once again.
Yeah, but it didn't plague Joblife earlier, did it? Like, I mean, I don't know what's going on there, but Ordaz has turned up the heat.
He's doubled his kills.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Ordaz can do that. He's one of these players that you can try and isolate, or else he'll do something like that. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know what Joblife's up to.
I mean, it's such an easy round to reset from.
Yeah.
Individual brilliance making the difference, and Joblife actually stray away from Garage this time. Don't want to touch it with a 10-foot barge pole.
Could be easily readable, though, by Eternal Fire. And especially with that HUD broken.
Neki spamming across. Page has already bridged the gap here a little bit, and Fabian could very soon be exposed in this position. How good is the synergy on Joblife sweeping forwards? Thorns drop towards elbow, no way out here if you're Eternal Fire on site. But no commitment made.
I mean, playing around this Vise, it makes things a lot slower, but Joblife still making block pace. Where are we going? Oh, the kills still go Eternal Fire's way, and Joblife finally equal things out. Big kill from Echo, still trying to keep fighting, and that's his death.
TP in behind from Ordaz doesn't work out. He's tripped the wall.
Yeah, Doma now alerted, but both players so low and potentially at point of going to get killed. Doma now 26 points of health. He needs to be clean with it and isn't. A clean double swing, and Eternal Fire straight back in this game.
Yeah, doubling up for rounds, majorly important. Pei's able to create so much space, but it took a serious amount of time there for Joblife to actually collapse on the A site itself. And I think that was the biggest issue because it allowed Echo to get that rotation completed. The cavalry arrives, their support, the trading, and the micro looking much better for Eternal Fire. Heading right back into this next round, it's Job Life looking for another B main reapproach.
Trying to head that way. Oh, pays.
Okay.
Good entry through the stinger, but it was a judge that you found.
Not the best of weapons here for Job Life for sure. And with Doma going down in middle solo, the player count is fleeting. 4 of them now, retooling, back into mid. And Kamek continuing to probe away. Echo has to be careful he doesn't get caught here, so Eternal Fire start to drop back to these deeper sight holds, and Fabian sweeping in behind with the operator.
Starting to. The gap somewhat missed. Fabian taking big damage here, and with that move, it seems that Job Life have a read on towards A, but they are moving into Neki, and this is a Phantom, pays by him. And well, he's even died to the fall damage. This is a disaster. Once again, but 3 versus 2.
Fabian tucked away in main here as well, so such a difficult clear as soon as Job Life get out on site.
Oh, Kamek's not even anticipated it. Even with the sewer presence. 1 versus 3 for Unfake with a Phantom.
He's the healthiest of the players left, but it's an empty util belt.
And unfortunately caught out above the wall. Seen Eternal Fire bring themselves within 1.
I mean, just the shift in terms of momentum in this second half has been one to behold. Eternal Fire proving their quality here. Very quickly reacting to how Job Life are moving through the map. On these encroachments of space, Neki not giving up much. And he jumped. If he hadn't jumped, he wouldn't have died. And Orda's thinking that's the easiest kill that I've found all day. Ooh. Although that's not what I imagine he was. I have to change about this attack side right now.
And that change needs to be success. Plain and simple, it's an easy way to look at it. Runner is going to try and use his showstopper to do it. It's a good stun to condemn Audaz's position. Echo going to drop out and spear from backside. Not clear! Oh my God! Unbelievable! An ace on the cards once again for Spear. Job Life undone after the timeout.
I think Fabian's baiting for the ace hit.
Yeah, and it should be the case unless Kamek can try and deny that and go one better.
I mean, it was a beautifully cooked up set piece straight from the strat book for Job Life. Great utility towards back of pillar. Runner gets the opener, and the stars align for Spear, who stops them all solo. The round given the chance to breathe now, and Job Life need that, because Eternal Fire very quickly are going to be making this 9-9.
Time to talk things over. We spoke about it before, the French timeout as it's being named, and Kamek given at least 1, so Spear now teared up for his ace. One which we have Oda. And Spear going for the swing will get it.
There it is.
Second ace of this map.
What was that? Yeah. Showing his scary face. Just clowning on him, I guess. Sharp shooting at the end. Doma's just laughing at him in the end.
Oh man, that's a reset for Job Life if I've ever seen one.
Imagine you just sat on the other side of the server thinking, what is that guy doing, man? Like, other than absolutely farming us.
Yeah.
It turns out they do have more than one emote.
Yeah, not one that I expected.
Don't use that one again.
Oh, mate.
Composure, Cairo.
Deep breaths.
Something we've spoken about.
And Job Life need it.
Take you to the tempo. I can't take you seriously. Trying to really slow it down here. Lock in. Here we go.
Oh,
It's
no.
Spear again.
Oh no.
He's been good for it a couple of times already this series, and he's popped the ult to boot. Immediately shown the door by Runner. But they're not past him just yet. There goes Pays to finish it off. And so, finally, a chance to relax if you're Job Life. Nope, just kidding. Here are the ults. We're into the B site.
Yeah, they're just going to send it in. But Echo! Oh, doesn't connect. Well, not quite fully anyway from his shorty.
Couple low health bars here. This is dangerous for Job Life.
Oh, Favian trying to play through the wall. Nicky does. And that's shorty getting the conversion.
One of the low players. Spike still going in, though, and a chance to set this up in post.
That's important. Round the new box, Favian plays and doesn't quite see the player.
Didn't clear it.
2 versus 1, and one that Job Life will win. They do get double digits, but my God, did they need to lock in.
Yeah, my God, we needed to chill out in that one. So chaotic on the B site there. Spear feeling like he had the right timing with the ult, but ends up getting fully punished in the corner. I mean, Necky's barely peeked that. Dude, I'd be so mad if I died in that position. And honestly, Fabian letting the side down a little bit, not clearing close there with the op. You can see the frustration because he knows that's a missed opportunity. Op into the following, though. And he makes up part of this A-hold. The first point of contact as Job Life are 4 players strong here.
Bring them.
Still not really accelerating off the back of that. Finally, you start to hear Pays' steps. Same time, we've got to watch Runner in mid and what he's up to.
They've only heard Pays, though. Job Life yet to fake out through just one player, so Pays is really an indicator of that commitment. Fabian does find the first of the players on the way through, and Pays recoupling up with the rest of his team, can't get it going. The catalyst for a site conversion stopped in his tracks.
Yeah, but look at this. Runner's starting to move. A 1 versus 1 against Spear.
I mean, it is an opportunity looming for him, but Spear has read the situation so well. Eternal Fire navigating this and drawing a line in the sand. It's a deep perimeter towards both B and A that Job Life have been offered with their final 3 players.
30 seconds left.
Job Life start to investigate. There's a chance about this. 25 seconds, sure, but I mean, rotations could be cut off. It's all about the duels. And well, unfortunately, Kamek found. So 2 versus 5, and I think this one is over.
That's exactly what Eternal Fire required. Their money riding on this round, so with
left.
everyone staying alive, only going to help boon the finances. Bringing us back on level terms. Necky's walking in to see if he can elicit a bit of damage at the end, but no response. Unfake, unwavering. And with 20 rounds played, nothing to separate the teams.
All even, double digits. And I think at this point, we're starting to get into a timeout for Job Life. Because sure, that last round they won, and I mean, it was a bit of a hard task. But for the most part, Eternal Fire are really starting to understand the inner workings of this attack.
It's just the layering of the defense as well. That Viper wall going up right after Fabian takes the first shot with his op. And again, Job Life trying to split the focus on some of these executions through Pays, but requiring a little bit more as of right now. And with Fabian not taking anything off that initial fight, Necky playing him in with utility. Some deep control here on A. Not fully committed to, though. They have peeled off this just a little.
Crossfire, though, almost established. Echo doesn't need one. Spears Molly, stops any further push, any swing.
And as soon as Eternal Fire get what they want in mid, which is this opening kill that they manufacture, drop back to this deep setup again. Still got Fabian to count for in ramp, of course, and Echo's playing shoulder to shoulder, or over the shoulder, I should say, into Vent. So Job Life will be walking into trouble. Unfake still has a Prowler, of course, to clear out here, and will be waiting on the Horn. but it's not an easy task, especially with those toxins up again.
30 seconds left.
An operator which can very quickly find values. We've seen from Fabian. Did get identified, but still not really cleared. And this has been an issue for Job Life, the operators. Fabian out with his ulti. Should he need it? But it's a shotgun from Neki that finishes things off. 11-10 for Eternal Fire. Advantage taken, and Job Life struggling on split attack.
I'm really liking these defensive setups from Eternal Fire with Fabian just floating around the Viper utility. Echo gets one to start, and then they just drop back into such a position of comfort. It's been so difficult for Job Life to get anything done here. Eternal Fire, eternally vigilant, as you can see. They're going for a direct approach this time, the attack. A final gambit, which has been fallen at the first hurdle again. Oh, Neki!
Lovely stuff. It's a challenge. Job Life just try and force the issue, and that issue just not coming through. Doma needs to show us some individual heroics.
This was a half buy for Job Life, so the best purchase that they will get comes in the next. However, it's more of the same. The end result feels like a foregone conclusion as Fabian's found himself on the line here. Doma dancing and dead. 12 for the Fire, and it looks like they're map for the taking right now.
Starting to heat up. Starting to find their way. For the past 5 series, Eternal Fire have never been to a third map. It's always been 2-0s or 0-2s.
Remaining.
We'll see whether that tempts fate or not. The flip side is, of course, that Job Life,
Doma! Come here, bro!
they tend to win their overtimes.
Yeah, but I mean, you need to get to overtime first.
And that is the most poignant part about this. These main fights have been horrendous for the attack site so far.
Oh, don't execute into the Viper's pit.
I mean, B has offered some results, and already you can see the intent here as Pays is moving through the map with some serious speed. What a shot from Pays! Let loose, and letting Job Life into this round, the round which they require to extend play.
Echo's walked out of the pit. This is a big duel to win out, and he can't do it. Caught out.
And so once more, the hero for Job Life is Pays, trading a red jersey for the one that eliminated him from stage 3, and 3 already on the round. Going through the gears as he gets onto A, still hanging about in the heavens, and that's one given away. Still a chance here for Job Life to stabilize. A disconnect between the final players. They need to set this one up.
Time to do that, but Oda's pretty late, and Spear already looking for a duel. And you've got so many angles to try and clear. Think about this late win condition and Kamek in heaven.
I mean, Ordaz's movement just on the valence of that, so only now hearing it and starting to reinvestigate the heaven space. Eternal Fire trying to make it happen on the site as it stands. Unfake played in from the corner, he's shut down, and with that, Spike vacant. Smoke's not up, no visual cover here for Eternal Fire to try and play with until Ordaz gets his utility back. Kamek has dropped the Gravwell and he's inviting this play to be made, but it doesn't look like there's enough time here for Eternal Fire. It's almost got to be a full stick for Ordaz, and he can't claim it this time. Kamek keeps them going. The most capped player is the one to clutch it for them.
Pays managing to find that entry is otherworldly. Oh my god! How insane! And then from there, such a nice scale, and it's all about Pays. The frustration, and you can see now that's why Afro on fire, calling this timeout, trying to for Eternal Fire. And with full strong towards A,
I mean, it's just such a committed call. Neki's instantly going to rip this Nightfall, I imagine, on B as well.
Yeah.
There you go, only spots one player.
And that Prowler does catch on. There's an idea about this for Job Life, but need to be careful. And Fabian and Echo still getting the value, Spike picked up and Unfake starting to head for the hills. It's up to Kamek to try and rescue something back as he moves in towards B Heaven.
But Joblife should now realize it was a stack that they headed straight into at the start of the round. A brilliant call before the barrier from Neki. Something from the coach slot perhaps, and as you say, Kamek has to be the difference here. Wardaz just using the ult to gain some info. Garage is clear, but this is the gap.
Joblife try and work it and do so well.
Kamek!
Unbelievable, he had to be the player, and is Doma gonna rip the ultimate and try and create a little bit of delay to get that spike down, but he's gone. 3 versus 2 now for overtime.
Bullets just flying straight over the head. Cosmic Divide comes in, but no one's playing close to it. It's such a deep hold here entrenched on the Joblife side, and while Kamek's playing late with Util, he has no way to support Unfake here.
Yeah. 3 versus 2 for map 3 as well. Oh, information as the players start to scale out. Kamek brought back, only 2 seen, 1 missing. Utility being sent forward, Unfake managing to do so well! Unbelievable! And it's a one-on-one for Kamek to take it to overtime. Time low, the grab well good, and half not found. Issues now for Echo. He needs to win the next duel, but Kamek plays it so well and wins the round for Joblife. Just when you count them out, they bring it to overtime.
And so not for the first time, Kamek is the light at the end of the tunnel. Joblife keep going here on Split, and the round is all his. Fantastic setup. Unfake gets a double ping as there's no audio on the walk back through the wall. Stun staves them off, and Kamek the closer. 12 all, a gut punch for Eternal Fire. The way that round started, it felt like Neki had pulled off an absolute blinder with the support of his coaching staff. And looking at it now, they've got to go back to that attack side where both of these teams have struggled, but looking at the resurgence of Spear and Fabian, that gives you a little bit of confidence here, a silver lining to take into this one.
Start to accelerate up. Eternal Fire threatening B as Echo tries to work the A space.
Instant re-clear from Unfake though in terms of any players that might have made it out from main. Joblife looking to mid-round this through the middle of the map, in fact.
So is Eternal Fire.
Something Echo is so often known to do is just walk out on A full contact. And so a chance to trigger the wall here in behind could be huge as finally the smoke fades and the fight in middle goes Eternal Fire's way. Runner up in smoke in the end. And Joblife down to their final 2 players.
Oh, Unfake.
Has to make a hero stand and can't. He falls in the first round of OT. And Doma's got it all to do.
What tends to be Joblife time. This overtime going, first round at least, to Eternal Fire. It seems 4 versus 1 for Doma to try and clutch from, which seems so impossible.
Far-fetched for sure. Tragic. Echo will walk into his crosshair and Spear's back out on the site. That should have been a free one, but Spear closes it. This resurgence from the duelists has been exactly the force that the Fire required. And now 1 round away from prying a precious OT from a Joblife, which are usually good for these situations.
Player missing so far has been Runner. I mean, we've been speaking of Pays, we've been speaking of Kamek, and who's been finding what. Looks like it's starting to take a toll on Fabian.
I hope he's okay, genuinely.
Yeah, I think he is, and that's why we're going to see a timeout come through from Eternal Fire. Reset as the pressure starts to stack, and in a position to convert.
Doma was talking about this in one of the interviews which he gave before they the 2 out of the way. This is their opportunity to put some serious daylight between them and Joblife.
Start to show what we expect Eternal Fire. Remember, Na'Vi showed a Joblife for what they were. Eternal Fire have struggled to do that. And at this moment in time, Pays lucky to still be alive as that C starts to dissipate and regenerate health. Eternal Fire ready to brawl.
Job Life decision to make if they want to commit to this still, because they know there's numbers behind this.
And it still looks like Eternal Fire are going to punish and win the map, their own map choice. And we saw Job Life threaten, it didn't go their way. We're going all the way to Ascent.
Yeah, I just feel like Job Life are out of home ground.
Yeah, I mean, I think for, you're asking, do they have a reset in them? 100% Job Life do, because, I mean, for their past team results, when I'm looking at it, they have gone to a third map. Especially in that lower bracket run that they made to qualify 2 VCT play-ins. This was a map they impressed on against Na'Vi. Maybe should have been quicker.
Sure.
Pace doing so well once again to be pushing these lines in towards mid already. And I mean, with this contact of utility on towards A, Job Life should have an idea.
Yeah, Job Life still a little slow to call the rotation over, so they don't get the extra body for the time being, but resolve shown by Doma as he lights up a couple players. Pays was the first to go down. Runner has now arrived in course and does drop the spike in an awkward position. Further support still making its way in, filtering through the ranks as Eternal Fire have no comfort to the situation right now.
And with Audaz on 44 points of health and Fabian low himself, Job Life have a chance to capitalise here, but I'm walking to short.
Yeah, Eternal Fire under the tree looking for a duel. It's Echo again leading the line, and Echo finding a third before the round is done, so it's all sat on Kamek. He can't do it this time. Those 2 clutches from Split will not translate to Ascent, and so the pistol goes to the Fire.
All right, it does. Eternal Fire starting to find their form, find what we expected of them coming from Split 1, an expectation they set. That kill onto Page through mid, had it not been found, could have been an awkward one. And this fight through short is one that sets Eternal Fire up for success.
Again, it's a situation where Echo is given freedom when he plays with the pack to actually instigate a lot of these fights. When you're not relying on his utility, when he's not playing away from the rest of his side, as he is on this round. Full save for Job Life. He was the star of Stage 1. And so I think you want to see him in tip-top condition if they're to have any chance on a champs run. And for the time being, play-ins is the focus.
Barcelona is the focus as well. Got to get there first.
Yeah. Got to get to playoffs.
Yeah. A long journey ahead. And as we all know, if you lose once here, you're put straight into the lower bracket for playoffs as well. As Eternal Fire scale in, get 1 kill with Fire scale in, get 1 kill with a shock and the spike down.
Spear lined up by this Paranoia cutting across the site on the Job Life side. Kamek giving that one as a parting gift before he's taken off the board.
1 enemy remaining.
And a Spear goes through the motions here and wraps it up with a couple in the end. I got to echo your thoughts. I think that's the thing, right? Eternal Fire don't have the benefit of having too many EMEA points right now to go to champs. They sit behind the majority of the teams that are currently in that top 4 conversation. So not only is playoffs a necessity, but a fairly deep run as well for them. Missing out on both Masters. London, the only realistic since becoming Eternal Fire. And now looking at this bonus round to offer a little more for them. They haven't started too strong on these last few maps.
No, they haven't. But this is a change-up. Of course, we saw that how that Na'Vi game went for Job Life, finishing on Ascent, and it was the same sort of start against them. But Job Life's defense started to revive itself.
Yeah, and I think the biggest component to that was Runner on this KO as well. Looked like his best agent back on the Initiator. You're looking at him supplying mid-round information, and with the knife already used, it's just the flashes to get something going. He should be the first responder here from Spawn as Eternal Fire are hitting into the B site.
They are. I mean, trying to play in Spear by using the Whaley utility, but he's used up all his shield. It's all up to the health now, and Doma cleared it backside. Unfake stepping forward but traded out. It's this Logs players that Runner's trying to work with, trying to work a kill, and Neki, oh, he could have got a second, but just misses out. Pays and Kamek to join at the hip.
A little bit of time before we get to see that, though. 2 versus 3. Pixel angle held at the start there by Eternal Fire, taking contact, knowing at least one of these players coming through CT.
Yeah, Paranoia to come back in, but Eternal Fire do not let them back in. So well played, diligent in post, and they know what the protocols are for Job Life. Pressure B, drop back sight, and they'll drop into the mud as Eternal Fire get 3.
Big bonus round for them here now as well. As the flames continue to rise, Spear knew exactly the corner there that Doma was trying to survive inside. And so now up against what will be pistols for them. You're seeing these duelists look at their best with the Jet brought into play. I think it's an interesting partnership, very light in terms of the utility you can offer. Of course, the Hinder is very valuable. I'm especially thinking about what that's going to look like in the second half when you can start to get an op rolling through as well. But as it stands, it's all about the dive in.
I will be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Whaley. Varying success in Job Life, having varying success here. Doma, nice shots. Not one to be distracted by the duelist, and Spear will be the one who gets the kill.
It's the clown show again. He's behind you. Didn't know where Fabian had gotten off to there.
The pantomime.
Indeed. And he is the villain this time, as Eternal Fire have been. Spear still such a high line here, even considering the pistols. But they wipe the slate clean, and with Fabian finding 3 there, keep the rounds rolling. 4 from 4. And we've seen Job Life lose an eco here and there. Not happening for Eternal Fire right now.
Yeah, and maybe with little preparation on split, as we heard from Larson in the coach confession. He spoke about that, right? Does he shout double pump?
Not sure.
Yeah, the point I was trying to get.
Nay, sure, he's going to be on for a perfect knife here, actually.
There was pings on towards Jenny, and with the Whaley ultimate, I'm sure that's exactly what the thought process is.
Right in the corner of this wall that he'll want to throw it to get maximum value.
Oh,
actually, it's towards main instead, as he stops that push from coming in. Fabian's found the opener, though.
Yeah, it was really nice shots. As you can see, Runner trying to fight his way through. Still gets a kill for his trouble, so back to 4-on-4.
It's actually an opportunity for plays to try and play back in with this op. No one on Eternal Fire can afford to overextend, but Spear certainly thinks so with these blades.
Oh, and the Hunter's Fury back in. I mean, ultimate versus ultimate, and it's one that Job Life have come out the other side of. Runner should know about this short push. It's happened before. And Eternal Fire tried to be proactive, but catching the both players almost off guard as Audax tries to clear out and does, but now has to try and get back onto Spike to deny the defuse and won't be given it. Job Life course correct and win straight after the timeout.
Just as we highlight Runner, he has his part to play in this round. Delayed the knife a little bit to force Eternal Fire to commit to the A main space, which is where you're then looking to explode. And with the combination of a reveal and a little flash to alleviate that pressure towards Heaven as well, he now has the null command online. So no one's going to want to hit towards his neck of the woods anytime soon. But in saying that, it's exactly what Eternal Fire look to be queuing up for.
Yeah, they cancelled the ultimate last time, and I'm sure that they're not going to make the same mistake twice. Runner, though, playing pretty far forward this time round.
Yeah, change up of the knife, close wall, but hits both duelists, so the scale slowed. Runner does get caught in the null command, though, and Eternal Fire just melts straight through the robot in front of him. Taken offline.
Oh.
And in this 5v3, Job Life very quickly thinking about a save.
Yeah, don't want to try and attempt this one, but while they lose out on this round, we're going to have to start to see Job Life showing some real signs of life. Because Runner getting found out there, 2 kills, killing your round already. We're now almost halfway through this half. And your chances of getting back into this one come few and far between.
I mean, it's a conversation that was had a lot, especially after the Fnatic Heretics game. The decision to make, do you want to start on attack or defense on this map? And when we actually look at the veto process, Joblife chose defense, which is usually what you do, right?
Yeah.
You want to put your best foot forwards. Coming out of the split result, though, which is obviously something that you can't quite account for, doesn't look like they've been able to fully reset just yet. So Eternal Fire now up 5-1, a 4-round cushion for the attack side.
But like, when I think of Joblife, right, or let's actually take a step further back. When I think of VCT as a whole, I always think of teams that should be able to threaten on attack and defense. And sure enough, we've seen that from Joblife and from Eternal Fire, but Joblife have shown time and time again that they can struggle on this attack, and I'm starting to really think, if they even were to win against Eternal Fire, do they even challenge someone like that?
Well, of course, we're going to have to wait to find out. For now, it's all about Eternal Fire and what they're up to. Chance to listen in with the Turkish team right now.
Alt tarafta attı. Jet burada. Jet dikey burada beyler.
Tamam drone bastım.
Ama clear attı. Dönecekler sanırım.
Vine'ı çeklemeye çalışabilirsin. Vine aldım.
Bakacağım.
Ha B'ye kilitledi sanırım Anıl.
Kanka.
Operatör dönecek.
O ben de buradaymış lan. Dönüyor. Tipi attı.
Dön B dönün.
Orba al, ultim geliyor.
Al Soner burada kalabilirsin.
Soner sen kalsana bir şey gelir.
Çok dar attı. Anıl solunun çok dardı yok.
AP kilitledi büyük ihtimal.
Evet.
Lan flash'ını pikleriz.
Bize de bakıyor olabilir bu arada. Dikkat edin. Hiç göstermedim.
Sol açacağım. Görmedim tamam bekle.
Video ölmüştür belki.
Lan flash'ı yapıyoruz. Soner bir B main'e ulti atsana ya. Bekle. B main'e ulti at orada kal. Gördün mü?
Var.
At bana ulti at. Veli ultisi at.
Atıyorum. Adam site'da. Ona
Kayo da burada.
Yakın.
Stairs da Kayo.
Stairs. Sen Stairs.
burada. Ya solda
Sova da CT geldi.
Sabir adı öyle. Sabir daha ulti attı da. Anasının amında yak adam.
Canım yok.
Evet canım
Canım Piksel'den CT bakabilirsin Fabi.
Bana bir tek sende var.
Açık kurdum.
Bana tam bu iyi böyle.
Market yürür beyler.
Yes.
Eternal Fire, clinical on the execution there towards B. Lose a player in A main, but very quickly find their way. And with Doma in a 1v3, within the wheelhouse, Echo low, but this Phantom spray has to be heaven sent. Hard clear on the close corner is not going to set him up for success this time. It's 6 for the attack side.
Yeah, and they can start to really chain these rounds together as we see Joblife should be on an equal round. I don't think it's going to happen just yet, but with Pays with Blades, there's something to work with. And 3 players with a bye. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, after how... I'm not going to say impressed I was by Joblife's defense, but certainly by how they were up to the challenge against Na'Vi. With Eternal Fire, it looks like a different challenge that they just aren't able to rise to.
It's a different beast, and one which has been slumbering so far this stage, but that potential absolutely there to be unlocked. Pays testing the limits early. Wall triggered by Echo in B. And the call yet to be made for Eternal Fire. Very passive hold from Ordaz, boosted up on the box in his own spawn.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing about Eternal Fire. I thought they were lucky to get into this position. Into the second rounds of games. Favian elsewhere has found his first kill, though. In this round, at least. Is right now Eternal Fire pretty slow in their scale into this round, and just looking to see what mistakes Joblife are going to make.
Exactly, and that's where they found the entry point, just working around this operator of Favian as the conduit. That's now exchanged hands towards Neki. The group up coming in through A main, and in the meantime, Joblife trying to reinvestigate towards middle. It's Echo in link, but no information for him. Back to the play.
Oh,
Runner catches him.
He sees 2 players towards that top of mid, and you can see exactly that Neki's been deposited to watch flank and gets value for it.
And now, look, with smokes on Kamek, the first player out of action, it's just too easy to play from main. Doma at the double makes it a 2-on-2. All of a sudden, there's a possibility still here about this one.
Yeah, but the health is so low. And both players on Eternal Fire have full health.
Reveal onto the op. Oh, brings Neki off the line for just a moment, but it won't be enough of a window for Doma to strike into. 24 points of health. He needs Ordaz clean, and then even Neki beyond that will crack the whip for another kill in the round. The scoped weapon sealing it there as it's 7 on the board for Eternal Fire. 6 rounds up into this attack half. A perilous position for Job Life right now.
Yeah, they need to wake up, and I think that's it. It's a wake-up call. One Lotus, and you're starting to think, you know what, this is certainly looking like a Job Life series. Get to split, get to overtime, the magic looks still intact, but now Haza, they feel disenchanted. And just things like this, not getting the opportunities that they maybe would have in the past.
9 rounds in, not a single player beyond 5 kills at the moment.
Yeah.
And for as much as Kamik's heroics were worth in the previous, Pays chipping in at times as well, nobody has answered the call for them as it stands, and that might just be the difference. Eternal Fire doing a lot of the right things as they approach yet another round without an instant push. They know the threat of trying to play into this double initiator at times. The Sentinel of Doma, of course, as well, on the back foot, and with Unfake face checking into B main, it's a silly casualty to give away.
I mean, we think towards split. What was the thing we gave compliments for on their defense? Playing off one another, having this trade game. But Unfake, solo B main, the Cypher distracted elsewhere on cam, probably through mid.
I mean, honestly, that mid re-clear in the previous round is probably the best semblance of what we've seen so far of some team play for Job Life. Hinder just evading Doma for the time being, so he can continue to sit in stairs with some comfort, fortifying that position, but forced to fight out of it in the end. Gap closed by Spear, and Neki the one to add the details. The spike goes through, and once more, it is a save for the defenders.
This feels like a Tier 2 versus Tier 1 game. The difference stark.
And the difference only a couple stages of play at the top tier. You've got to say it as it is. Eternal Fire ascended at their core. And that was the headline for me coming in today. You know, the reps that they've got, the experience that they've gained against top opposition, has that been enough to transform them into a contender? Right now, it's looking like we're seeing signs of it.
Yeah, of course. And I think Eternal Fire have been hardened by what they've been put through in Tier 1, missing out on London. And right now on the hunt. And runner passing the test. Still more to be sent, and Job Life still making Eternal Fire pay. But yeah, 100% has it. The fact that these 2 splits that we've seen, I mean, you saw in kickoff, right? Eternal Fire going into it, really struggling, not having the superstars that they wanted. I mean, Echo being that, but at the same time, they also learned from the issues that they were having.
Yeah. Sorry, just to get
a lot of hard conversations after the fact.
For sure, and I think even if Eternal Fire walk away with the win here, no matter how convincing this final map may end up being, it's important not to overreact. There were still issues at the start of this series, and I cannot take any of that for granted against a well-oiled foot in the next game. Sorry, I say oil and foot, and your mind just drifts elsewhere.
Oh, your mind drifts elsewhere? Interesting one from Yume, and it's an interesting walkout from Fabian as runners able to get the second kill of the round, and Job Life starting to look a little bit more awake. They got the value last time from a timeout, and it looks like they'll win the consecutive round in a 2 versus 5. You expect them to.
Yeah, it's a brilliant peek out in unison. Again, runner just playing a coordinated game, and this is the Job Life that we were waiting to see. An in-zone flawless from them, but it's still just scratching the bare minimum for the time being. Plenty to be done to turn this one around.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you need the last 2 rounds, you need a pistol round and a good attacking half, which we all know can be difficult to come by if you're a Job Life fan. So what's the thought process? Pay's not really in the game. a player who's struggled to find his value. Operator through mid though, and it looks like it will be met by Fabian. Shot's missed, and calling to his teammates that there's going to be danger towards short.
Yeah, Runner again able to dispel this though. Fabian falling and away from the rest of the team despite the setup. It's not enough.
A much more reserved look towards mid now, and Eternal Fire can start to re-clear this part of the map. It's really just put all on Doma towards B. But this is a good gamble by Joblife. Only seeing one, that was the Sentinel. And do they double guess themselves?
I mean, Eternal Fire have shown discipline from these positions in the past. Been quite happy to just slow it down and wait for Joblife to overreact. And as you see here, Runner has been isolated on Dice. It's Kamek that they may yet overlook though. Boosted up, Unfake to support him. 2 kills from the captain, and that might just be enough. Joblife will go for back-to-back rounds here. And while it's all but guaranteed, still a chance for them to stay in this game.
That's all they're looking for at this point, to stay in this game. But Eternal Fire, schoolboy errors. I mean, you see a KO, he destroys the drone, takes contact. Surely you've got to be thinking he's baiting for someone. Maybe not, maybe you just overthink it. Fully confident, yes.
Nice! Where the fuck are you going?
Runner playing in his teammates, but Pays once again through mid. Keep an eye on that.
Here is the op. Already Spear trying to drag the crosshair, and Pays just can't correct in time. The round which Joblife desperately need to stay hanging in this upper bracket is starting to get away from them now. Fabian moving towards the site with serious intention. Ult behind him to be used if required. It's the Hunter's Fury from the opposite side to try and send them packing, and Runner capitalizes. Good damage there. Unfake finding Spear in the end with the duelist off the board. Joblife have a chance to come back into retake.
Yeah, they've got utility, but Audaz tries to try and get a kill back. Can't get it, so now this retake can get underway.
Just a single smoke, still waiting on that dart. A one-way maybe for Neki to try and play off, but you're still clutching at straws. Audaz could find a kill for a reposition, perhaps. It's all situational right now, all up in the air as Joblife have been so efficient on these retakes. Starting to play again as Unison. Runner's bait is not acted upon. It's simply one kill back in the conversation, and Audaz with time on his side. The head of Unfake taken, and could this seriously fall apart right now? One left to get, and Audaz, he ain't gonna miss from that kind of distance. Joblife make a mess of it, and the Red Bull clutch might just have been enough.
Joblife missing the key opportunity to make it 4 and give themselves a real lifeline in the second half. But if there's anyone who's going to give them a lifeline, it has to be Unfake. And we checked in with him in an interview before the match.
Barcelona again, a reminder, the QR there as always. But for now, full focus on this final map where Eternal Fire look to be in control of the situation.
Yeah, they do. Eternal Fire have been good for pistol rounds so far, and Joblife struggled here and there. But once again, they try to invite the pressure, and it's Runner who is the first one to take contact. Kamek from top mid could activate and find himself some value, and it's actually Runner instead who finds that kill.
It's a player pushed out from A, and Joblife not just into the B site yet. Oh, Eternal Fire fighting back through.
Down B.
And it's from the flash of Echo that they find the kills. Drop deep to backside. Let them get away with it for just a moment, and the hinder to close is again more fantastic utility. Eternal Fire with another pistol.
Like lambs to the slaughter. Eternal Fire, the Turkish side, looking to put Joblife to the sword, as every Turkish team has done.
Be yet another in the 10 defeats. Of course, the most recent ones against Reborn, now Fireflux. And I guess that brings us to a wider conversation, Cairo. Do you think it's a stylistic thing,
No.
Unfake calling against these rosters?
No.
Or is it just a great stat?
It's just, I don't know, man. There's a lot of issues here, to be honest. Not shooting back, getting caught off guard, simple things. And it looks like an unprepared roster against one that has been constantly trying to tinker with what has been going wrong. Eternal Fire look back to business. We'll need to see if that truly is the test. If they do make it to play against Foot, which at this point in time, they're favourites to do so.
I mean, Unfake was calling for a crazy pace, and the Marshall buy is a little off-piste. Anything to put some fluid in the tank, get the engine running. It's Kamek picking off Spear to start, though, and with Market taken away, I mean, there's some serious threat here for an Echo under fire. Target-rich environment, he takes two, which seems to be good enough. But a 3-on-3 situation, an upgrade at the very least for Job Life.
Yeah, but look at towards middle here.
Yeah, it's Unfake just inserted on the other side of the railing. Has to be careful. Classic had to find something. It has. 1 for 1. And back to even numbers again. Doma off angle, holding onto stairs, and that's the checkmate. Fabian in a 1v2. It's not the gun you want for the job, the Outlaw. These shots have to be sharp. And while he knows where Doma is, Runner still doing circles on the back of his mind. Fabian looking for the clear, and there he is. Runner pops up at the perfect time, and while they won't find that first pistol, the second round is good for Job Life.
Hey, it's just as important, and I think actually it could work better for Job Life's momentum on this attack. It basically resets the tide. This next round an anti-eco for Job Life.
Not the first time that we've seen
Guys, what's happening?
Echo left as the sole defender of that B site, playing very deep.
Yeah, but you would so like favour Echo in that position.
You would. I guess it's more, I'm calling into question some of the positioning at times because it doesn't feel like the support is maybe arriving to facilitate him.
Yeah, maybe too overconfident in his abilities.
But the gap's opening up and Job Life exploiting them. You can see some fights being taken through B here as Doma cages himself away. And with the Spike looking at making an A approach, Eternal Fire have matched this for rotations, but still the herd thinned out.
Fabian still want to take out a duel, and it's just a bandit in his hands, which we've seen manage to find value before, and Eternal Fire's pistols are able to get some more. But it's a 3 versus 1 for a low Echo. And seems like Job Life now know exactly where he is.
Just knocking on the door, letting him know.
Anybody home?
Yep. And Doma is.
Yeah. So 3 players through with Vandals, Phantoms and the like. And that economy looking pretty strong for the attack. They'll have a few chances before Eternal Fire really get back into this one, should they get back into this one.
And a big talking point for Job Life throughout today from Lotus and some signs of success, a couple errors here and there, has been the calling on their attack side specifically, and how much of a part to play Unfake has in that. Now he'll be leading the resistance here, as we're gonna get a chance to listen in and see what exactly it is they're cooking up. More of a default round, so hopefully an opportunity to get some valuable insight.
I'm flashing mid base. 3, 2, 1.
Go A split. Go finish A split.
Can mid operator.
Go A split. Rotate.
I can do one smoke, you ready?
Yeah, go.
1, 2.
I'm paranoia for you. Go, I'm holding you.
Down mid.
Left.
Sorry.
Could be short in front of you. Come to me.
Go away. We have only Omen there.
Come to me, Doma.
Wait, I'm coming, bro.
I'm gonna swing. 1, 2.
Guys, can you walk garden to max and you go spawn?
Yeah, I'm holding
Gonna
it.
search on this device. I think it's not bad.
Go. You want me to break heaven when you pick CT?
No,
Sir, no.
Go heaven together.
Wait.
This side. 61.
2. Don't see. Might be heaven. Hold heaven. I'm only CT.
Just knife under heaven when you'll be close.
I will knife under heaven.
Smoke
Wait.
main. I'll smoke main for you.
And if he's close, we can do pop flash.
I'm gonna do flash if he's close. Nothing
Take
left.
main. 1.
2.
I'll plant. Stay heaven.
Go.
Stay heaven.
I need to hold heaven now.
30 seconds left.
Door's open.
Bir yerde olabilir.
Bir tane short var, bekle.
Bir
shortsa-
Short.
Biri burada. Ha. Diğeri de plant.
Under heaven. Short. Kontak bekliyorlar. Take your...
him.
And what should essentially be a bonus round win for Joblife, they start to get momentum on this attack. And a little bit of frustration, I think, signs of it for Eternal Fire in the comms.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're pushed back onto an eco now. Joblife starting to rattle some cages here. And I just love how involved Unfake is the whole way through the round, from front to back, still leading those discussions when he's no longer alive. Setting up some of that micro, which I think we've seen a lot with a lot of in-game leaders, especially those round win percentages when they're the first to die. It's easier to micromanage from that position, and I guess for a new team, still figuring out some of those things. Diligent in how they move through the map though, and again, just making a call, sticking to it, biggest thing for me.
Yeah, timeout so far have found varying success for Eternal Fire. On Lotus, it was getting immediate impact in round wins, but on Split, it was not the same. So it's the same trajectory as we saw from Joblife on the other side, the other half. Timed out in the exact same round, fourth round into the half. And with a mixed bag here, you're expecting that Joblife should win this, and that's the key point here, should win this and bring it into a two-round game.
That's what we were talking about, right? The fact that it's rounds like this when you're against the lesser weapons that Joblife have actually conceded from time to time.
There is questions to be asked of you every single time, and if you want to be in VCT, Joblife, you need to answer them. Look at this. Trap set up in A main, and a judge to hold short. Joblife are waiting for some form of aggression. Eternal Fire not giving it, inviting the pressure. And Joblife, when they've been asked that question, have struggled.
I mean, it's A short and close B main where you're usually expecting to find a judge. So in terms of what the utility looks like here,
Oh no.
Confirms one in middle.
Wait, Odaz is holding Paranoia to play in Spear. I'm worried here, Hazard.
Spear walks up, but the drone is going to catch him out. Doesn't quite thread that shot. A bullet delivered through the eye of the needle. Neki out on a limb here himself on B, playing to the other extremity. Numbers behind this for Eternal Fire, and look, any kind of late play makes you worried from the Joblife perspective.
Yeah, it does start to put you a little bit anxious. I mean, managed to get through the A trap, and now it's towards B. 30 seconds remaining. And Joblife need to make this land and stick.
Looks like they do have the right idea, though. Again, Doma slowly encroaching from B main. That's already all cleared out. It's 20 seconds to try and take the site itself. Pays is the one doing the heavy lifting again. And so the pistol shouldn't have much to offer here. I don't know. Neki's still alive. And if he can find a couple more, that's going to be enough. The ult there to try and slow things down. Buy a little extra for Fabian, but he's taken offline right at the death. And there were chances for Eternal Fire, but Joblife get through.
I think Eternal Fire just a little bit too eager after the utility used, after the ulti. And I think as well, that round is winnable.
For sure. It's just the investments that have been made now.
Yeah.
Are Eternal Fire going to be a little short-handed in the follow-up? Yeah. The fact that they do have money now, though, brings up a talking point I raised earlier. Fabian is on the op. When you have a jet, when you've got... You got to be opping on this map.
No, you do, but I would rather favour Spear's agent compared to the Whaley. It's harder to dash away.
Okay.
But Fabian has been getting so much value on this operator, it has to be said.
I was going to say, you are not a Waylay fan, even though you got the
it.
instant refract. Look at the space that he's taking in B.
Oh no.
You give that guy the op. Spears missed the shots, so Pays has another valuable entry, and with this Hunter's Fury coming in to add covering fire, Eternal Fire have it spot on. Runner brought down to his knees. Spike in the open. Kamik can claim it with the ult, but it's still a 3v1 he has to play into.
Yeah, but he's looking for this first kill, not to bring Runner back.
One enemy remaining.
Neki not giving him the chance and running back towards A site. It's now a 40-second timer, and he knows there's so many opportunities for Eternal Fire to approach this site.
Retrieving the KO, impossible. So Kamik left down to his own devices, wanted to dig out that kill of Neki, who is solo towards heaven, but a lack of information right now makes this all the more difficult. Fabian the first layer, Eternal Fire coming in from short. Dart revealing most of the site. They should expect Gen. That's when the hinder comes in, and Fabian has expertly navigated that one.
Yeah, very nicely played by Eternal Fire. They are ready to burn the body in a 3 versus 1. Trying to get the utility off. The gap extended back to 4. And I think this is really nicely played. The trap from short, taking off the contact, and it's just sprung straight away.
And then Fabian is that second layer to it, right? He can then get active from the B main space, which he took early in the round. Through the op, another change up to this defense, of course. And so this almost feels like one of the last chances that Joblife are going to get. They're looking to deny map point here, keep themselves in this upper bracket. Pays has been so good at the entries up until this point, but he's walking straight into the biggest gun in the game.
Don't miss me too much.
And every single time, Joblife have really struggled to deal with the operator. Just to remind you, they're sticking around in main, and it's Spear this time who gets the kill, his 9th of the map.
It's the 1-2 punch, though, that makes it happen. That partnership that we spoke about at the start of the day, showing its strength when they're shoulder to shoulder, not expecting a quick re-peek after the op pops. And now, Joblife mid-rounding into a Vice setup, one which is ready for a short push.
Flash. Oh, to play in pace just does not work out. Eternal Fire have had enough of these games. They want to go to map point, has it. They want to be done with this.
Spear to hold the cross. He knows Market is vulnerable. Actually, it is only Fabian here on the other side of the door.
As well, they can break out and surprise the operator, which so far, I mean, again, finding value! An insane double kill!
30 seconds
And the spike now. Kamik doesn't have his ulti to bring it back online. It's an in-zone flawless. How many times are we going to see the same issues pop up time and time again?
No right at all for Fabian to find that final kill.
It's a scent, for God's sake.
And with Spear there by his side, the B side feeling impenetrable. Nice change of pace from Echo holding towards this left-hand side at the start of the map. Great catch from Fabian as the info filters through. And Joblife just not diligent enough right now. Banging their heads against the wall. Looks like a fast B play.
Yeah, trying to change up the pace, but you're again walking into Fabian. Walking into this operator. I'm sorry for doubting him. I'm so sorry, because again he finds value. Spear's blades not quite hitting. Joblife now start to accelerate, start to get towards the site, but Odaz, the ace up the sleeve. And he's even found the kill for it. He's found 3. He's going to make it 4 to finish out the map. Eternal Fire show what Tier 1 have. The 5